đảo cắt chiều hoa đi.
Đừng mất được.
Tật chất này vẫn là còn water line of this sink has been leaking, and of course, this guy will have to address it. A great solution is to use an extended drill bit to remove the screws. He needs to see inside the sink to identify the problem and fix it. Because this pipe has come loose, it led to the drainage issue. Dealing with this problem is actually quite simple. Our guy just needs to attach it closely to the plastic pipe in the wall, and then reassemble everything as it was initially using the extended drill bit. Oops! A long crack has appeared on the water lock's pipe in his house. How will he solve this problem? First, he needs the help of a saw to cut the water lock off from his pipe. But this process doesn't end there, because the crack is located in the section of the pipe, buried inside the wall. This guy is now attaching a metal ring with a bolt. Can you guess what he's going to do with them? If you can, let us know in the comments. Continuing from the previous step, he is now using the surface of the cutting machine to make his metal ring sharper. By attaching them with a screwdriver, I'll give you a hint that this will be an excellent tool for cutting those concealed plastic pipes. As a DIV enthusiast, I believe that all of us should pocket this trick because we will need it in many situations. In the next step, this guy has brought a small PVC pipe, cut part of it with scissors, applied glue, and threaded it inside the concealed wall pipe. Another PVC pipe, but this time, instead of cutting it, he kept it intact, applied glue, and attached it to the section of the pipe that was damaged earlier. Do you remember his initial water lock? He brought it and heated the broken plastic pipe section with a heat gun. This action would make it easier for him to remove that section. Using a plastic pipe cutter to trim off the excess part. Now all this guy needs to do is apply glue and attach the water lock to the pipe. His trick is complete. No more water leakage. Isn't it fantastic? Oh, it seems like his water valve has been damaged due to excessive use. To address this issue, first, he needs to remove the valve from its pipe. A wrench and screwdriver will be the tools to accomplish this task. Step of the trick, he takes out a motorcycle wrench, tapes one side of it, and pushes it aside. Now he will deal with the cigarette ashes he just lit. After crushing the cigarette ashes, our creative guy retrieves the motorcycle wrench. Without forgetting to bring the remaining part of the water valve, he pours the cigarette ashes into the gap between them and uses glue to stick them together. Peeling off the tape, he smoothens both the top and bottom surfaces of the wrench with his professional-grade tool. So, the manufacturing step of this trick is complete, and now all he needs to do is reinstall it back to its original position along with the water pipe. The job is done. Oh, this guy's house has an old and worn-out water valve to the point where he can't control the valve handle position. So if he wants to use this faucet, he must replace it with a new one. Do you think he will order a new metal water valve? The answer is, of course not, being a passionate DIV enthusiast. This is an opportunity for him to unleash his creativity. Let's see what he will come up with using these PVC pipes. I find his trick quite fascinating, because it requires imagination and understanding of the structure of a water valve. If we don't understand the working principles and components inside the water valve, we won't be able to create a different model to replace it. But of course, this trick will only be suitable for those who have a passion for crafting and repairing. it won't be suitable for everyone. If I were a DIY enthusiast, in the case of having some leaking or old water valves in my house that can't be used, my first solution would be to order new water valves. I guess out there, many people will opt for a quick solution like I just mentioned, which is buying a new water valve. But what about you? As DIY enthusiasts, do you want to try making a special water valve for yourself? If your answer is yes, then what are you waiting for? After watching our entire video, stand up and start pursuing your passion for crafting. Returning to the guy in the video. At this point, he has reached the final steps of the trick, which involve applying glue and attaching all the parts he just crafted together. Now he turns off the water supply, and he will remove the old water valve from his pipe. Installing the homemade water valve. Let's see. His faucet works really well, doesn't it? Oh, this guy needs to figure out a way to stop the handheld shower head from falling to the floor. Starting the trick with a PVC end cap, he uses a ruler and a pen to measure and mark positions on the end cap. Using a drill to make 2 small holes at the previously marked positions. Then, he uses a saw to remove the remaining plastic on the end cap. Next, this guy drills 2 small holes on the top surface of the PVC end cap. After marking the positions of the 2 holes on his wall, in the next step, he drills holes at the marked locations and inserts 2 plastic anchors. Screws will help him secure the end cap to the wall. This will serve as a tool for him to hang his handheld shower head.
Coming into a bathroom filled with filthy water due to a clogged drain, attempting to clear out the debris but with no success makes you feel absolutely awful, doesn't it? Connect it to another water source, then we're done. The water pressure has effortlessly cleared the drain pipe. It's pretty simple, isn't it? This man is trying to scoop water to irrigate the vegetables for his wife, but it seems like this method is a bit challenging, isn't it? Oops, anything that's difficult, you can let tips handle that. To start off, I'm going to demonstrate a simple experiment. I'll be using a 20-liter water bottle and a few PVC pipes along with candle wax for this experiment. Pay close attention to how I conduct this experiment. Firstly, I position this model at a low position. Then I provide it with the water source. Can you see that? Placing this model at a low position has made it operational. So what happens if we move it higher up? Perfect, they still work great. Now we can confidently apply the principles of this model to design a small irrigation system for our garden. Just grab a Coca-Cola bottle and a long piece of water tubing. Drill a few small holes in the Coca-Cola bottle and then carve a larger hole on the bottle cap. From the small holes on the bottle, we will cut out a rectangular section. Afterward, connect the Coca-Cola bottle with a long piece of water tubing. The purpose of the Coca-Cola bottle is to help us retrieve water more easily. Then we leverage the force of water and air to allow water to flow through. Install a sprinkler nozzle at the other end and there you have it. Watering plants and vegetables has become easier and faster.
Can you see it? His wine cork has fallen inside. So how can we preserve this wine bottle now? Use a plastic bag like this. I don't think that's a good solution. Firstly, you need to cut the neck part of a small plastic bottle, then put it on top of your wine bottle. Now, use a mini gas torch, because when it endures the heat, the plastic part around the bottle's neck will automatically shrink back. And now it fits perfectly with your wine bottle. The wine doesn't spill out even when I tilt the bottle. How great is that? If you find it useful, let me know in the comments below. Oh my! Peeling each garlic clove like this takes forever. Let's see how I can make magic happen. Look at this. A PVC plastic tube. Attach 2 PVC end caps. And now we just need to put the garlic cloves inside. Pay attention to how he shakes the tube. And let's guess if something magical really happens. Wow, the garlic cloves are all peeled. I am truly surprised by this little trick. Now let's cook a delicious meal with our achievement. Oh no, my plug has been damaged. It's dangerous. How can I fix this issue? First, I'll use a screwdriver to remove this plug. Let's see its internal structure. Next, let's take the electric wire out of the plug and cut off the used part with wire cutters. Now you just need to insert the 2 wire ends into the 2 covers and use the screwdriver to tighten them back. Put them back inside the plug and reassemble it as before. Now we have completed this task. But it doesn't stop there. Let's find out how to connect this electric wire with the light bulb socket. After removing the bottom part of the light bulb socket, thread both wire ends inside it. Now all we need to do is tie the wires to secure them. Very simple, right? But no, pay attention to how he ties the wires. Next, everything we need is an empty bottle. I'll cut off the top part of the bottle and drill a small hole in its cap. Thread the wire we made earlier into the bottle, and let's move on to the step of connecting it to the light bulb. Use glue to secure it, and let's see its fantastic usefulness. Not even rain can wet our light bulb. Now let's move on to the last hack with this broken faucet. Firstly, I'll cut off the damaged part and then use glue to attach it to a coupling. Can you guess what's inside these two boxes? That's right, it's sand. This is not unfamiliar to any of us, right? Let's use small-grained sand. Attach the capped end to one end of the PVC pipe, and at the other end, we'll pour sand into it. This action brings back memories of my childhood. When I was a kid, I used to play a lot with sand. If you did too, let me know in the comments below. Try to guess why we have to put sand inside the PVC pipe. The answer is that when we heat it, the pipe, even when bent, will not get deformed. In the next step, I'll drill small holes on one of the PVC caps, and when I attach it to the faucet we had earlier, let's wait and see what happens. Wow, it's fantastic! My faucet has become more powerful thanks to this hack. If you find it useful, try it and let me know the result. This guy will handle the leaking water tap of this family. After cutting the tap out with a saw, he applies glue inside the old pipe. Can you guess the benefit of his action? When he ignites the flame, the glue will burn, making the inner plastic pipe softer and flexible. Now he can easily remove it with simple tools like a screwdriver and pliers. Do the same with the pipe section attached to the water lock. Next, to connect the water lock to the pipe, he needs to attach an additional PVC pipe segment. A pipe cutting tool will help him trim the excess pipe. Now just apply glue to the water lock, and he has completed fixing his water tap. Isn't that amazing? His water tap is no longer leaking. Oops! This man is washing his hands, but due to the slippery soap, his ring slipped off. To address this situation, he needs to use various PVC connectors, apply glue, and attach them back together. Can you name all the types of these plastic pipe connectors? I believe for those passionate about crafting, naming the objects he uses in the video is quite easy, right? To serve his crafting passion, this man will likely invest a considerable amount of time and effort. Watching the video, we can see that he meticulously prepares tools for his tricks. Things that seem very simple are transformed into useful items for human life through his skillful hands. Using a pipe cutting tool to remove excess pipe, he applies glue to attach it to a connector, and then adds more types of pipes. Looking at his process, it might appear straightforward, but in reality, this trick is quite intricate, isn't it? This guy has been patiently assembling connections for a long time, but he still hasn't completed his task. For a novice in crafting like me, it's fortunate that he has detailed each step. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to learn this trick, even though I know it would be very useful for my family. Finally, he has completed his pipe connection task. He disassembles and uses a pipe cutting tool to trim the sink pipe and replace it with the pipe he just crafted. Measure and mark positions on his PVC pipe segment. He heated the pipe segment using a heat gun to make it easier to install. Fantastic, isn't it? He has successfully installed the drain pipe for his sink. Now let's see what makes this drain pipe special compared to his old one. Oh, this water pipe has resolved his initial situation. When the ring fell, he found it right inside his home's drain pipe. This guy is cutting a part of a hinge. Can you guess what he'll do with it? Following that, he has a long bolt, but he uses a cutting machine to trim its head, leveraging the sharpness of the cutting blade to sharpen the bolt's head. He does the same with two other bolts. Now he will secure them onto the hinges, trimmed holes using nuts. Looking at these items, can you guess what he's creating? I still don't know its name. If you're in the same boat, be patient and keep watching our video. This creative guy will reveal the answer soon. Next, he secures his invention with a screwdriver. And now, look, this tool helps him easily cut a circle on the lid of a paint can. This is truly a great invention, right? Oh my goodness, his water pipe is broken. Even though he turned the valve off, water keeps flowing outside. Turn off the water supply and let's see what trick he will perform in this situation. When it comes to water valves, I can be sure that this will be a trick that many viewers will welcome, as many households face this issue. Just in the kitchen of my mother, for instance, her water valve is also facing a similar problem. This is an issue we need to address immediately to avoid water wastage. Returning to the guy in the video, after creating threads for his D-connector, he used a plastic pipe cutting tool to trim a section and then installed it with the valve of the water lock. All the steps to execute the trick were meticulously guided by him. I think that immediately after watching this video, I'll be able to start repairing the water valve in my mother's kitchen. I'm really looking forward to the approving look she'll give me when I successfully complete this repair job. Do you think that's fantastic? If so, let's get to work, and both of us can receive praise from our mothers. Do you feel like I'm acting very much like those kids who like to show off the praise they get from adults? Oh, just shared a little with you all. And this guy has moved on to the step of connecting the pipe segments together using a plastic pipe welding machine. Looking at how deftly he's handling it, we can also see his skills, right? I dare to guess that if he isn't a professional repairman, he's certainly someone with a lot of experience in repairing and crafting. Because as a novice like myself, I understand very well how clumsy and bewildering it can be for newcomers to use and select different types of machinery. After replacing the self-made pipe in place of the old metal water valve, we can see that his water pipe is functioning very well. The water flow from his home's tap is too weak. It can't meet the household's needs, so he needs to come up with a solution to address this issue. Do you feel that the tricks in this video are very useful? The issues he's addressing are all very relatable in our daily lives. That's precisely why I've been watching this video attentively and have already learned a lot from it. We can never predict when we'll encounter situations like these, so learning and understanding how to solve them is essential because it will help us save a lot of time, effort, and money in the long run. Pay attention to how he reconnects and cuts the pipe segments. Just a moment longer, and you will see the surprise in this trick that he's about to unveil to us. Now, he takes the items he has just crafted to the position of the water container. Apply adhesive and join them together. Let's wait and see what the results will be like. Through observation, we can also recognize that this trick is quite intricate, right? He has to perform various connecting steps. Not only that, but the tools used in the trick are also quite diverse. However, it's precisely due to this complexity that he's able to create such an excellent model. After assembling everything, he shows us a video segment simulating the operation of this tool. Now let's return to reality. Everything is working well, isn't it? The success of the model in the water container will lead to improved water supply in the water taps at his home. How do you feel? If you find them truly useful, give it a try and let us know the results. Now he wants to drill a small hole in this tile, but drilling directly onto the tile would cause debris to scatter. The solution he proposes is to use a piece of sponge, cut it to match the shape of the machine. He'll soak the sponge in water and insert it into his drilling tool. After completing these steps, we can see that when he drills the hole in the tile, the debris no longer scatters everywhere. Oh, is this man using pliers to cut a piece of cable? Can you guess what he will do with these cable pieces and short wire sleeves? After threading them together and heating them up, our creative guy here fits them onto a screwdriver. Lo and behold, it turns out this is an idea for cleaning small parts on his machines. His home's water pipe has a hole. How will he handle it? Of course, he could cut off the damaged section, but using a saw is not a good option in this case. Let's see what creative idea our guy has in store for us. Oh, he brought a piece of metal wire and threaded it through his pipe. Now it's time for him to demonstrate the strength of his hands. After removing the damaged section of the pipe, he uses pliers to clean both ends of the cut piece. Moving on to another PVC pipe segment, our careful handyman measured and marked the size to fit perfectly before using a cutting machine to trim it. Placing the freshly cut pipe segment in position, he proceeded to bring in 2 more PVC pipe segments. Quite the skilled plumber, isn't he? With just a small trick, he managed to use various pipe segments. Not only that, but he also kept soldering and cutting these segments continuously. Can you imagine how he will repair this pipe? Please let us know your answer in the comments. After cutting pipe segments like this, let's see how he connects them back to the original water line. From the video, we can also see that the steps in this trick are quite straightforward, right? Watching him effortlessly connect the pipe segments makes me believe I can repair water pipes just as smoothly. In the next trick, this man will guide us on how to patch up a hole in plastic. The first thing he did in this trick was to use a paper cutter to trim the hole's edges to be as smooth as possible. Next, he cut a piece of white PVC pipe. Using a heat gun, he transformed it into a flat plastic piece. Can you guess what he'll do next? Placing the piece onto the damaged area, small strips of tape would help secure the plastic in place. Turning the repair tool upside down, he used a pen to mark the hole's shape on his white PVC plastic. Removing the plastic, he cut along the pre-drawn shape. Placing the freshly cut piece onto the damaged area, he used glue to secure it. He took out the front part of the welding iron and placed it inside the soldering iron's mouth. This would be the tool to help him weld the pins between 2 plastic parts. After removing the tape, he didn't forget to use sandpaper to smooth both sides of the repaired area. Next, our creative guy will make a very special type of adhesive. Do you know what it's called? I think these won't be unfamiliar to those passionate about invention and repair work, right? Lowering the repair tool into the water, he continued to use sandpaper to smooth both sides of it. To finish this trick, he needed to spray paint to cover the repaired area. Look, the repaired plastic is absolutely perfect, isn't it? Another pipe in his family had a hole, a problem similar to what he faced at the beginning of the video, right? But his approach to dealing with it was quite different. After cutting out the damaged section of the pipe, he brought another pre-cut piece, caked as needed, applied adhesive to it, and attached it to his pipe. Next, he brought a piece of tubing, applied adhesive, and threaded it inside the old pipe. Can you guess what he'll do next? Oh, it turns out he's creating a special adhesive mixture from glue, foam, and baking soda to connect the pipe to another plastic piece. Pretty amazing, isn't it? His pipe will be fixed perfectly. This guy is clearing the grass to repair a leaking pipe buried deep underground. Once he identifies the location of the damaged pipe, a shovel and a pickaxe are the tools he uses to dig up the soil and gain access to the water pipe in his garden. After cleaning the section of the pipe, he begins the first repair step by cutting the damaged section using his cutting machine. Not only that, but this guy also removes the old pipe segment with the help of a heat gun. He cleans both ends of the pipe with sandpaper and applies adhesive to them. Next, he brings in a new PVC pipe segment and heats its body. Can you guess what this step accomplishes? That's right, it softens the plastic of the pipe segment, making it easy to shape into various forms during installation. Now it's time to turn on the water and see if there are any more leaks. This guy is attempting to connect a PVC pipe segment to his flexible water pipe. But how can he secure them together firmly without a properly sized clamp? He takes two small-sized clamps, removes the screws from one end of each clamp, ensuring that the back part of the clamp is no longer fixed by the screws. Now all he needs to do is bend it a little and attach it to the second clamp he had brought earlier. That's it, everything is complete. Look at that. It provides a very effective result, doesn't it? His bathroom is emitting an unpleasant odor. This is a common issue that many households face. So how can he solve this problem? Let's see the brilliant idea our creative guy has for this issue. Starting the trick with a motor and a small fan. Can you guess what he'll make with them? To accurately attach the motor to the fan, this guy uses 3 right-angled square rulers and a plastic box lid. Quite creative, isn't it? After completing the installation process, he brings in an electrical cord and uses it to power his model. Look at how it operates. Very efficient, isn't it? But it doesn't stop there. To ensure safety when the engine is running, he needs to create an external protective device using cone funnels and PVC pipe segments. Adding a small piece of wood will help secure his engine more firmly when it operates inside the casing, made from various types of plastic pipes. But to obtain a piece of wood that matches the size and shape of the plastic pipes, our guy had to apply highly skilled craftsmanship. Once he had a piece of wood that he was certain fit perfectly inside the plastic pipe, he brought his fan-equipped motor to attach it securely to the wood. Marking the positions of the holes in the pipe clamps on the wood, a drill and screws helped him fasten the clamps and the motor onto the wood. And of course, he didn't forget to trim any excess from the screws. Now, place them inside the plastic pipe and mark the positions to drill holes to secure them to the outer casing. So far, the steps of this trick still seem quite simple, don't they? If you find it fascinating, you can absolutely try your hand at following this man's steps. He approaches everything with great precision, with clear and detailed steps, which truly piques my interest. In every one of his tricks, I sense authenticity. His methods are real, and the results they produce are genuine. Let's plug in the power supply to the engine to see how well this model operates. Because he has seen the effectiveness of the model, he will now bring it and attach it to his bathroom ceiling. However, his trick doesn't stop there, because he also needs to install 2 pipes at both ends of the engine, one leading outside the bathroom, and the other going down to the family toilet. He brings a coiled plastic pipe and attaches it around the toilet bowl's rim using wax. With the help of a cutting machine, he removes a small section of the toilet bowl lid to pass his coiled plastic pipe through it. After connecting the coiled plastic pipe to the PVC pipe attached to his motor, he continues the process by creating small holes in that coiled plastic pipe. Can you guess what this step will achieve? If you can, please let us know your answer in the comments section below. Now, let's take another look at his project before putting it into operation. He plugs in the motor, and as soon as the white gas rises, it is immediately drawn into the coiled plastic pipe. To provide you with a clear understanding of how this project operates, our guy carefully introduces white gas into a plastic cup. Look at that! The suction power of this engine is indeed quite strong, isn't it? Oh, his house's water lock is broken. To fix it, first, he needs the help of a drill and a hacksaw to cut it out from the pipe. Bringing a match and igniting the gas torch of his lighter, heating the end of a plastic pipe and inserting it into another pipe will help reduce the size of the pipe's end. He applies adhesive to the end of that pipe and then connects it to the in-wall pipe. Right after that, he uses a plastic pipe cutter to trim the excess length. Do you remember the water lock from the beginning? He removed the plastic pipe portion and retained the metal lock part. Next, our guy heated his pipe with the gas torch head and inserted the water lock into it. Quite straightforward, isn't it? To ensure that the water lock and the pipe are securely attached to each other, this guy removed it again, wrapped Teflon tape around it, and applied adhesive to the threaded part of the water lock. It works very well, doesn't it? Oh, this man is sweeping his house. Isn't he diligent? However, there's an issue that has arisen. After cleaning up, he casually tosses the broom aside. This isn't a considerate action, so he needs to come up with an idea to solve this problem. He starts the trick by using a cutting machine to cut pieces of plastic pipes of equal size. Next, he uses a marker to draw on those plastic pipe sections. Setting the marker aside, now the cutting machine will help him complete its task. As soon as he cuts the plastic pipe into shapes like these, our guy will secure them to the wall with screws. This will serve as a tool for hanging brooms and trash bags. Pretty neat, isn't it? As you can see, this guy dropped the shower head, causing the threading to break. To address this issue, he decisively removed the damaged threading. Next, since he wanted to insert a piece of plastic pipe inside the shower head, he used a cutting machine to trim it down. Applying glue, and now, look, the size of the pipe section has been reduced, hasn't it? Not stopping there, he repeated a similar process with another piece of pipe. But this time, instead of inserting it into the shower head, he placed it inside another plastic pipe. After completing that, he applied super adhesive to the shower head to attach it to the piece of pipe he had just made. Trimming away the excess plastic with a knife, he then applied another layer of glue, and this time, he connected the bottom of the shower head to an external threaded connector. Bringing the shower head back to his bathroom, and of course, before attaching it to the water pipe, he didn't forget to fit a rubber gasket he had kept earlier in the connection between the shower head and the water pipe. Whoa! Look, the shower head doesn't leak at all, does it? This man is drinking Coca-Cola. Do you think he'll throw away this plastic bottle after finishing it? No, he'll recycle them. Keeping 3 bottles, the first thing he does is remove the labels from the bottle's body. The artwork on his plastic bottles reminds you of what? I feel it's very similar to the windows in the childhood drawings I used to make. Ha! Cutting those windows open with a familiar paper cutting knife. Maybe it's time to say goodbye to childhood and return to my DIY passion. After unscrewing the caps from the plastic bottles, this industrial-age guy sought the assistance of a machine to drill holes in those caps. A piece of string. He threaded both ends of the string together, pulled them to a certain length, then used scissors to trim the excess string. And immediately, he inserted these strings into the bottle caps from earlier. Now let's take those special caps back to their respective bottles. Oh, it turns out he's creating a tool for holding screws. That's really awesome, isn't it? Managing screws can be a real headache because they're so small and there are so many of them. So what we lose them is quite common. I think this idea is perfect for DIY enthusiasts. Oh, my goodness! His toilet is clogged. Can regular plumbing tools handle this issue? The answer is no, so let's see this creative guy's idea. First, he selected a large PVC pipe from his inventory. However, since he didn't need the entire length of the pipe, he measured and cut a section of it. Continuing his selection process from his diverse inventory, this time he found a few PVC connectors and a water valve. Can you guess what he'll make with them? Let's watch the video to find out. At this point, our guy began drilling a hole in one of the PVC end caps. Next, he attached it to the connector that had been wrapped in tape earlier. Cutting another piece of PVC pipe, he applied glue to both ends and attached two end caps with PVC connectors. He cut off the bottom part of the second PVC end cap, then used the intact end cap to measure and cut a rubber piece the same size. Placing an external threaded connector on the surface of the rubber piece. Following the same steps as before, he measured and marked the size to create a small hole in the center of the rubber piece. Remember the PVC end cap he partially cut earlier? Removing the connector, he inserted the rubber piece he had just made in between and then tightened them back together as before. After enlisting the help of a cutting machine to remove the smooth plastic part of the threaded connector, our creative guy applied glue and attached the large PVC pipe section to the intact end cap. Temporarily setting aside the items he had just created, in the next step, he needed to cut the valve off a bicycle tire. Continuing with a new PVC end cap, but instead of drilling a hole in the center of the circle this time, he created a hole on the side. After completing this step, he inserted the valve into the drilled hole of the end cap. What is he going to create with it? Bringing a wrench and loosening the cylinder's lock. If you're as curious about this trick as I am, stay tuned and wait for the surprise from this guy. Taking another PVC connector from his warehouse and attaching it to the lock. Next, he needs the help of a heat gun to easily attach them to another connector. Looking at this guy's actions with the materials and tools, we can understand his repair skills to some extent, can't we? A clumsy hand couldn't perform such decisive and confident actions. So if you find any of the tricks in our video today intriguing, don't hesitate to try them out because I can assure you they will amaze you with their incredible usefulness. After completing the assembly and construction on his wooden table, he brought them to his restroom and began disconnecting the water pipes to install the tool he had just created. Fantastic! Now he can adjust the water level of the bidet. In the final trick, he's figuring out how to connect this metal valve with his large PVC pipe. Starting the trick with an empty Coca-Cola bottle, he cut off the top portion of the bottle and threaded it outside the pipe. Heating it with a heat gun would help the plastic on the bottle contract to match the size of the pipe. Applying glue to ensure they are securely attached, he will now attach the bottle neck to a PVC threaded connector. Inserting a metal water valve, and there you have it. The trick is complete. The faucet of his water filter machine is broken, and the water flow is too small. Therefore, he needs to repair it. First, this man needs to remove it from the machine. Thanks to the sharp tip of a paper-cutting knife, this guy was able to easily remove the cap. Then, he needed the help of a screwdriver and a wrench to continue disassembling the internal components. After a few turns of the wrench, it seems like our creative guy has found the key to the problem. He solved it with a piece of bicycle inner tube, placing the open-close part of the faucet on it and tracing the size. After cutting the inner tube to size and reassembling all the parts with the faucet, I can tell you that this trick is complete. Pretty quick, isn't it? By this point, I can't help but admit that our family's water filter machine has been facing this issue for a long time, but I never thought the solution could be so simple. After watching this video, maybe I'll have to explore my family's water filter machine too. How about you? If you're dealing with a similar situation, why hesitate to try it out? I bet it will save you a lot of money. Oh, in the next trick, our guy is trying to attach another pipe to the one he already has. But it seems that this PVC T connector is not a good solution. So he quickly came up with another idea, starting by cutting one end of the PPR pipe into a tapered shape as shown in the video. Continuing with another piece of pipe, but this time, he only stopped at making holes in the pipe body instead of cutting it across like the previous pipe. To join these two PPR pipes together, he needed to heat a metal rod with a gas torch. Next, he placed the metal rod in the joint area of the two PPR pipes. When the plastic of the two PPR pipes heated up and melted, that's when he could attach them together. To make the joint between the two pipes smoother and more aesthetically pleasing, he needed to use a soldering iron for support. Look at that! The two pipes have been joined together beautifully, haven't they? Oh my, after using the restroom, this guy wants to wash his hands. But it seems like using the faucet like this is a bit inconvenient, isn't it? Let's see what idea he came up with to fix this inconvenience. To perform this trick, first, he needs to turn off the water supply and measure the dimensions of the toilet tank. Next is the step of disassembling the parts of the toilet tank. Not stopping there, this man continued his work by measuring and cutting the floor tiles according to the dimensions he had just taken from the toilet tank. He started the trick with very simple steps, right? Just make sure you have the measurements right, and completing this task is as easy as pie. After cutting tiles in shapes like these, he needed the assistance of silicone glue to securely attach them together. Continuing with his measuring tape to mark positions. Oh, It turns out he wants to create small holes in the largest tile at the bottom of the water tank. He performs similar actions to drill another hole. Can you guess what he'll do next? Bringing a PVC cap and drilling small holes in it. Not only that, he also assembled a PVC pipe with various connectors. I'm really curious about his trick. Have you noticed? He's not only using various types of tools, but also different materials. I'm looking forward to the results of this man's efforts after a long and meticulous process, hoping that the outcome will be a fantastic model deserving of his hard work. Now he has moved on to the assembly stage of everything. He just crafted with his tile tank. Now he's bringing the model and assembling it with the toilet tank. Wow, look at how it works when he opens the valve. The water flows into the tank and down into the water tank. Very convenient, isn't it? Oh no, his house's faucet is broken. To fix this issue, he'll cut another piece of pipe at the end of the faucet. After cutting the plastic pipe into 2 pieces, he applies glue to the damaged area of the pipe. He applies glue to the freshly cut pipe, and then he inserts it into the inside of the long pipe. Adding a bit more glue to ensure that the damaged part is securely fixed. And that's it. The trick to repair the broken water pipe of this creative guy is complete. Oh, this man wants to spray paint a metal pole, but it seems like his spray can is broken. A creative idea has popped into his head. He cuts the cap off the spray can and keeps the push-button part inside it. Next, he asks for the help of a drill to make holes in a PVC cap. Applying candle wax inside the cap, he attaches it to the pump tube that he kept earlier. Continuing to drill holes in another larger cap, he then attaches it to an external threaded connector. He secures it with candle wax to ensure a tight connection. Oh, now he's using an even larger external threaded connector. He connects it to various PVC plastic pipes. Can you imagine what he's building? Drilling a small hole in the body of the plastic pipe. This will be the location to install a bike valve. you remember the large cap he made earlier? Now, he attaches it to a piece of PVC pipe and a spray nozzle. Screwing the cap onto the body, it's not difficult to guess that he's creating a DIY paint sprayer, right? After pouring paint inside, he uses a pump to eject air into the container. Now let's see how this homemade paint sprayer works. It's amazing, isn't it? It really works well.